The story of Christianity did not begin where many assume it did. Its earliest footsteps did not lead west. They led south, into Africa. Long before empires embraced the faith, before cathedrals rose across Europe, and before Christianity was accepted by Rome, the message of Christ was already taking root on African soil. This is not a forgotten chapter. It is the foundation. This is not a revision of history. It is a recovery of it. Because long before colonialism, long before European missionaries, and long before Christianity was tied to empire, the Christian faith was already alive in Africa. Most people know Mark only as the author of a gospel. But history reveals something far more significant. Mark was not European. He was African. Ancient historians record that Mark was born in Cyrene, a region in what is now modern-day Libya. He grew up among African, Jewish, Greek, and Mediterranean cultures, shaped by the continent long before Europe ever encountered Christianity. This single fact quietly challenges one of the most persistent assumptions about Christian history. Mark's family later moved to Jerusalem. There, his mother Mary opened her home to the earliest followers of Jesus. The book of Acts records that when the apostle Peter escaped from prison, he went directly to her house. This means Mark grew up surrounded by apostles, by prayer, by danger, and by the birth of the Christian church itself. Christianity was not theory to him. It was lived experience. So why did Mark return to Africa? Early Christian records tell us that the apostles divided the known world among themselves for evangelism. Mark was entrusted with the regions surrounding Alexandria. This was no coincidence. Alexandria was one of the most important cities on earth, a center of learning, a crossroads of cultures, a place where ideas were tested, refined, or rejected. If Christianity was to take root beyond Jerusalem, Africa was the strategic ground. Christianity's arrival in Africa did not begin in palaces or among philosophers. It began in a workshop. According to early accounts, Mark entered Alexandria with a broken sandal. He stepped into the shop of a local cobbler named Ananias. While repairing it, Ananias accidentally drove an awl through his own hand. Mark prayed for him, and the wound healed instantly. This moment changed everything. Not because it impressed the powerful, but because it touched ordinary people. Ananias became the first recorded African Christian, and his home became something unprecedented. Not a cathedral, not a monument, but the first Christian church on African soil. Here, Africans gathered to pray, to learn, and to follow Christ decades before Christianity reached Europe. This is not legend. Greek, Roman, and Coptic historians preserved the same account. They agree on one essential truth. The first Christian church outside Jerusalem was founded in Africa in the 1st century. Christianity did not come to Africa late. It came early. As the Christian community grew, opposition followed. Pagan leaders saw the church as a threat to tradition and power. During a festival, Mark was seized by a hostile crowd. He was dragged through the streets of Alexandria over sharp stones. Ancient records say the ground was stained with his blood. His final words echoed the prayer of Christ. "Into your hands, O Lord, I commit my spirit." Mark died in Africa, but the church he planted did not. So was Christianity African from the beginning? The answer is no longer a matter of opinion, it is a matter of history. Christianity was born in the Middle East. It took root in Africa, and from Africa, it grew into a global faith. What began with one African-born evangelist and one house church in Alexandria would soon become something far greater. In the generations that followed, Africa would shape Christian theology, Christian education, and Christian doctrine itself. This is only the beginning, because to understand Christianity, you must understand what it became in Africa.